verify bill, and maybe the border security and the skills act, I think.
Oh, and the skills act.
And the skills act. And the question I guess I have is, those are all, bills that, push enforcement, and that's probably part of the solution, but not all of the solution. I guess the question I have is, what are you willing to do beyond vote for the bills to actually come up with a solution? Because, voting for it is one thing, but being active within your party and trying to actually get people to come up with a solution so there is a solution is something more. And I just wonder if the people of Omaha can rely on you to actually try to solve the problem rather than just take positions and end up with water heads.
Well, I appreciate that, and the answer would be simple. I am willing to jump in there and give my opinion and talk about it and push the leadership. The reality is that all of the jurisdiction under that is within the Judiciary Committee, of which I do not sit. And they will have, and I will work with them, I will talk to them, but they are the ones that will be the lead on that. So the best I can do is just keep talking to them and hammering them. So that would be my role, since I don't sit on that committee of jurisdiction.
Okay, Congressman Terry, my name is Jordan Carter, sir. I'm going to give you respect for calling you Congressman Terry because that's the form that should be going on. I hate the fact that a lot of Republicans as well do not give our president that same respect. President Bush was the person I didn't agree with 98% of the time. I never called him Bush. I never called him. I respect him for the position he's in. I wish you and some of your other constituents in the party would give him that respect. I don't expect you to do anything about our local municipals because that's not your job. That's the mayor and the city councils. Anybody in the state thing, we have state senators for that kind of stuff. This is what I do expect and want to know from you what you're going to do. The Equal Pay for Fair Work Act, that we know women are getting paid to. I have a daughter, a mother, and several sisters. They're getting paid 77 cents on the dollar to what a man gets paid for $1. That is ludicrous. Did you vote yes or no on that bill?
Is that the Lily Ledbetter bill? Yeah. I voted no.
You voted no on that. Do you have any daughters? Okay, if you have a daughter, would you want your daughter to be paid the same things a man would be paid?
There's already laws against that.
But these laws are not being adhered to. What I want to know is, would you make sure that those laws can be adhered to in every state and every corporation needs to adhere to those laws? Because that's the reason why our economy is where it's at. My second thing I want to know is this. There is something you can do about what people are being paid in this country. Because right now, if you look at the statistics of what minimum wage is, these acts are equivalent to what people was making in 1968. There hasn't been any cost of living raises done because some corporations feel like they can't do them, they shouldn't do them. If you're in business and you have more than 50 workers, you should be able to pay your workers health care, period. If not, get out of business. Because those same people that are working for you are the same people that's help bringing in and keeping your business running. Those two things are Henry Ford did this 100 years ago. He paid his workers more money to work for him to make cars. They turned around and bought cars and doubled his intake on his business. When you put money in middle class and poor people's hands, they spend it. We don't take it overseas to Switzerland. We don't take it to our house. We spend the money because we have to. I don't have a problem with conservative ways because everybody has to be conservative even when you don't want to. But I have a problem with the conservative ideology that you will not allow people to get paid what they should be getting paid, and our women should be getting paid more than what they're getting paid. That's garbage.
Right, Paul.
You were just standing there, right?
My question is basically, when you do
I
something about our
answered the
minimum
question.
wage and about our fair pay for equal, can you please do something about it?
As I said, it's already illegal to discriminate. There's civil rights to sue. There's EEOCs. Having another layer of redundancy did not make sense, especially with the level of government intrusion that it was going to allow.
And if you've ever dealt with the EEOC, they always go with corporations. They've never gone call you. Their percentage is going with the people actually suing those things. They always go with the corporation and say that the corporation has found it, that they were in line with what they should be able to do. So that to me, that's the man. The laws have to be changed. Only you can change those laws for us. You're the only one who can do it.
Congressman, I assume that you believe in the common good.
Yes.
Okay, and then why is it that so many of your colleagues, particularly the Tea Party people, and so on, have this real problem with the size or the shape of government? You mentioned it a couple times tonight that you're against bigger government, or you want to have limited government and so on. But there is a clause in the Constitution that says that just below the we the people, the preamble talks about the general welfare, to promote the general welfare. And your votes and your colleagues have voted against things like you were just talking about, with fair pay for
It's already
women,
existed in law.
or it's already in law. Yeah, it's in law now, but what was your vote? You said no.
Yeah, because there doesn't need to be a second layer.
Oh, come on. That's just, you're kind of filtering the problem, you know. It seems to me like you don't have a grip on cost versus benefit. And there's an awful lot of benefit to some of the costs that the people are helping to share for the common good. Investments in jobs, investments in education, investments in healthcare. Everybody here is probably well aware of the cost of healthcare. And then you folks in Congress, particularly the Republicans in the House, have been blocking things forever. For what reason? Because there's no sense to it. Just wasting your time. Our time. And you're running up a tab with your salary. That is kind of embarrassing. The other thing is that if you treat things as an investment, they tend to bring back benefits that will take care of the cost many fold. Education, in some places in Europe, they are already getting free education. They treat education as an investment, not a cost. There are things like infrastructure. They create jobs, yet nobody seems to be moving things in Washington because of the stalemate that they would probably get in the House. And at this point in time, the interest rates are so low that it is a very good investment. No, I'm asking him, why is he stalling? Why is his colleagues not understanding the cost, the benefits, the benefit cost of activities that you should be working on, instead of spending 40 votes on affordable health care to vote to shout it down?
All right, if you would go to thomas.gov and look at the bills that have been passed by the House of Representatives, I would appreciate that because I disagree about inactivity. We've done a lot of good things that have been sent over to the Senate.
This is the most inefficient, inactive Congress that there has been ever.
And remember, Congress is two houses.
But all the appropriations start in the House.
Yeah, we've done most of ours.
You guys,
Go ahead.
yeah, we're pretty much out of time.
Well, you've got president.
I thought I answered you. Well,
Why are we wasting time?
well, that's what.
So, yeah, if we're gonna If you please just ask questions and let him answer it, and we can please try to respect the fact that you've been standing in the line. So if we can, we're pretty much out of time.
Congressman Terry, you mentioned earlier your substitute, your replacement for the Affordable Care Act. I wanted to know how that was distinct from what John Kerry offered during the presidential race in 2004.
I'm sorry, I don't remember what he offered.
You were in Congress at the time, weren't you?
All right. Next.
Congressman, House Resolution 281, I talked with you briefly about the meeting. Just want to let you know that many hospitals cooperate with like Chinese hospitals. At those hospitals, those doctors, they like kill prisoners who has religious belief, like Falun Gong and other group, and use their organs to do transplantation. And I hope you can support this resolution and also make effort to like medical centers like UNMC to know like such crime is happening in China by the communist regime. And Falun Gong is very good in practice, exercise, and meditation. So I hope you can support the human rights.
I will definitely look at that resolution. I have not read that yet. It was introduced right before we talked about it.
Yes, Congressman Terry, thank you for coming and listening. This has not been mentioned tonight, but I am very concerned about gun control. I know I have written to you, to my senators, to the governor, and I hear back in general, it's a mental health problem, it's a Second Amendment to the Constitution, we already have laws to control guns. It doesn't seem to work. My suggestion would be to amend the Second Amendment.
My name is Nancy Scott, and I'm concerned about all the things that have been mentioned. But you mentioned that you had done bills or supported alternative energies. And I am wondering, would you be willing to support legislation of some sort that would make it so that if people invest in solar, wind, or whatever, and then make it so that they could, if they have excess, that it would go back to the, I've heard that it needs legislation in order for that to work.
State legislation.
Does it have to be state, or can it
It
be
doesn't.
federal?
It can be a mandate. We can pass that.
And then
Most states
everybody,
have already done that. Nebraska has kind of a weird thing because we are a public power state, and so the legislature.
money seems to work for people, and if we could be paid, I mean, if I would know that if I would put a solar panels up, or if I could put one of those cool cylinder wind energy things by my house, I think those are so cool looking. But if I could excess energy that I would produce, and then I think other people would want to do it, and that would help the state.
Ken Ryder, I just have 3 quick questions for you. First one, what's your stance on the Employment Non-Discrimination Act and why? Second, what's your stance on Keith Ellison's Wall Street transaction tax and why? And the last question is protections for the right to vote. Do you consider that a racial entitlement? What was your stance on ENDA and why?
I voted no.
And why can't you support, workplace protections for the LGBT community?
For that was for the gay community. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Well, it's up to our state to determine who should be issued a marriage license.
And then the other one was Keith Ellison's Wall Street transaction tax. And then the other one was protections to the right to vote. Do you consider that a racial entitlement?
A racial entitlement. I think right to vote shouldn't be based on race. I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
Well, why do the Republicans support legislation that restricts the right to vote based on race?
I don't know that we have.
You do. All the voter ID legislation that the Republicans have supported nationwide, they all affect access for the right to vote based on race.
I don't see that connected to race.
The result.
Well, a higher percentage of Black people and Hispanics don't have access to the voting ID that you guys require, and yet
But it would be issued free if they did.
that was never included in any of those provisions.
I don't know what our state legislature has done. There's been no federal bill on that, so. Is that?
We don't have.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, last question.
Thanks for this opportunity. I'll make it really short. I'm just wondering what it's going to take for you to clear a path for immigrants that are already here, already working, staying out of trouble, work very hard. Because the way I read this sign, it says clear, attainable path to citizenship. But what about to another term for you, to clear another path for a term for you, which is coming due? I mean, there is a lot of people here, a lot of families that are getting broken up. And I can give you a lot of sad stories from people that I know. But I don't know what it's going to take to get through your heart to find a path, just to help. I understand your E-Verify, making the wall stronger. I'm all for it. Build it. But the people that are already here and already working hard, honest people, staying out of trouble, why not find a way that they can jump through the hoops and you can tag them every 2 months or whatever until they prove that they are loyal citizens and they want to be a U.S. citizen? What is it going to take? How can we get you to vote to help move, to at least move it forward? That's it. That's the question. What do we have to do to get it to move forward?
Well, I've been pretty clear my entire time in Congress.
Right.
I stand on.
People that you represent.
Exactly.
You represent us.
There's a lot of people. It's not just, there's a lot of people. You get a lot of phone calls for bad people doing bad things. But you don't get a lot of people that are saying, hey, these guys are working hard.
Can I turn that on?
Sure.
Or ask you a question?
Absolutely.
I put on the table that once we get border security, E-Verify, that I'm willing to go to finding a legal status. But that's been rejected because it's not citizenship.
Well,
And so why would you
why would I what?
move?
Why would I want to move?
Okay, that would be my answer.
Well, what I'm saying is why not have work visas? Why not let them find a way?
That's why I said that would be a legal status.
Well, why can we not move forward? Isn't that bill coming this fall? I mean, you could help. You don't know?
If it's going to come up this fall.
Well, it either comes up this fall or doesn't come up for